All right, guys, we've got our mini preview and season win total predictions here for the Washington Commanders. This is episode 32. As we go through the entire NFL, somewhere along the line, I doubled up on the numbers. I think it was Kansas City and Las Vegas. They were both labeled 16, but this is the final episode. Over under 6.5 at -104 to the over, -118 to the under. We're going to go under here with the Washington Commanders. Now, let's jump into the coaching. Ron Rivera, I've never thought he was really that good of a coach. I think he's been skating by for a long time on that one Super Bowl appearance where Cam was superhuman pretty much for the entire season. Don't think he's a great coach. Simple as that. Bieniemy, we'll see with Bieniemy. Was it all Mahomes and Reed, or was Bieniemy helping out, or was it all Bieniemy? We'll see pretty early, I think, but it's a new system, and he's not exactly working with Patrick Mahomes over here. And then Jack Del Rio, the defense has been good for a little bit. It's filled with talent, so he'll be serviceable for the time being, if anything. But let's jump into the roster. Sam Howell at quarterback, it's just a big question mark. He had a couple snaps last year, not a ton. I don't know. I don't watch Sam Howell and think anything crazy, so I'm not super high, but also he could prove me wrong. I don't know. Haven't seen a lot of Sam Howell, so it's just a big question mark over here. Camp has been, word out of camp's been kind of on and off there. I heard one day Jake Fromm was the best quarterback of the group, so it's just not a lot to love right now until I see it. So as simple as that. Offensive line, the tackles are okay. Leno was solid last year. Wiley comes in from the Chiefs. He was solid. But he won't have Patrick Mahomes running in behind him, so we'll see. Interior has blow-up potential. You have Chris Paul coming in, Nick Gates, who two guys I don't exactly love, and they're replacing Norwell and Rouye, so it's a step down for me regardless. Right guard will be Cosme or Stromberg, one of the two. It's just not a group I am very good or very excited about, and it has potential to just be really bad. So not loving it, but the tackles are solid, so you love it there, but pressure in the middle really messes up an offense, so not ideal. Running back room, pretty good. Brian Robinson, he obviously missed the first couple games last year with that incident, and then kind of came in and played okay in spots, played not so okay in spots, so we'll see if he can make another step. Gibson, the other running back, solid enough, decent pass catcher. So two solid guys, nobody I'm necessarily in love with. Wide receiver room, got solid names all over the place. Terry McLaurin is still really, really good. He reminds me of D-Hop, who's just kind of bouncing around from bad quarterback to bad quarterback, it felt like, for a really long time. And still, I guess, though I like Tannehill, and it just reminds me of that with McLaurin. He will eat his fill. It seems continues to get 1,000-yard years, but it is what it is with Sam Howell. Jahan Dotson will hope to take another step. He was solid in bunches last year. He'll hope to take another step, as we said. De'Ami Brown is okay, not too bad as a depth piece. Pringle, it's got speed. Curtis Samuel, a bit of a gadget player, can do a variety of different things. So there are weapons here. We'll see how they get used, but, solid room. Tight end room, not great. Logan Thomas, he's getting older, 31 now, and, he misses games, and, there are years where he just doesn't look good and stuff like that, so we'll see. Bates is a solid blocker. He'll get on the field, but not much to love about this tight end room. Defensive line is really good. The front four, the starting four, are really good. Jonathan Allen, excellent in the middle. Daron Payne, really, really solid next to him as well. So two really good guys in the center. Sweat on the right is the best pass rusher here. He's a really, really good player. Probably get a really nice paycheck come the end of the year, I believe, this year. And then Chase Young on the other side, who has the talent, misses games and stuff like that. He'll hope to get back to, first, second year Chase Young. It's his contract year, so you'll hope he'd at least put the effort in. But if he can get back to old form, this is a really scary defensive line. That being said, the depth behind it, if somewhere were to get injured, really not good. Linebacker room, not great. Jamin Davis took a small step forward last year, but still wasn't that great. He'll need to take a really large step because he's kind of the one at linebacker here, and if he doesn't take a huge step, that's problematic. Cody Barton's probably going to be his partner. Another player who's just not really that good. There are two guys behind Barton who are kind of similar. So the depth for Barton is there, but it's just not good. So it's just three guys who aren't that great alongside Jamin Davis, who will hope to take a step. And until he takes a step, you kind of worry. As we said, he took a small step last year, but he needs to take a pretty big step. And the secondary, pretty good. Corner room is young. Fuller is still really good. Top 15 kind of corner. So you have one locked down, and then 2 and 3, you get, younger guys. Martin is a second-year dude. He'll hope to, take another step, and then Forbes comes in a really difficult spot for a rookie who's undersized at a position that's really difficult for rookies. So a young room after Fuller, so we'll see how they play. We'll see how well Forbes adapts and just jumps on in. He's a definite ball hawk and reads the game really well. We'll see physically how he holds up, but it's a young corner room. Safety room, solid. Cameron Curl was a top 5 4-3 safety last year. He was really, really good. Forrest, one of those safeties who's a good ball hawk, can jump routes and stuff, but kind of lets up sometimes in coverage. He'll hope to become more consistent in that role, but it's a good room. I mean, Curl is so good, and if he just becomes consistent for us, then you have a really good safety room, and they'll be sitting behind some young corners. So they'll have a lot to do, I assume, and hopefully they can continue to do it. But there are spots here on this defense I don't love, as I said. Young corners outside of Fuller. Linebacker room's not that great. Offensive line's not that great. Tight end room's not that great. Quarterback is obviously huge. I don't love. So there are holes here. There are some really good portions. The defensive line, the front four are really, really good if they stay healthy. I like the wide receiver room as well. So there are good and bad here. But let's jump into the schedule. Not an easy start. You get Arizona at home, which is probably your best spot all year. And then at Denver, home to Buffalo, at Philadelphia is a killer stretch. At Denver the second week, when you're kind of just getting into the new year and you have to go to altitude, is really difficult, and there's a really good defense up there. Buffalo's obviously really good. Philadelphia is obviously really good. So a really tough start. And then you get Chicago, at Atlanta, at the Giants, home to Philly. 3 winnable games there. And then you get a division opponent at home in Philadelphia. So a decent stretch there. You got to go on the road to Atlanta and the Giants. It's not easy. None of these games are easy, obviously. And then you go at New England, at Seattle, home to the Giants, and then at Dallas, and then Miami before their late bye. That is another brutal stretch here. At New England's tough. At Seattle's tough. Lots of travel there. For the Seattle game, going to New England with a young quarterback is really difficult, as plenty know. Then you get a division game at home, and then at Dallas, another really tough game, and then you get Miami, who are going to be better this year, most likely, before your bye. So a really, really brutal stretch. And then the last 4 at the Rams, at the Jets out of the bye, and then San Francisco and Dallas at home. So it doesn't get easier. It's a really brutal schedule for a team that I think has a lot of holes in it, which is why we're going under 6.5 at -118. And that's the end of our, win total series. I think I'll have a video up where I kind of just recap all of them, but yeah, there we are.